We'll see who counts the food.
This is the Troll Patrol, live with JustinFREAKIN.
Fecal Friday? I never agreed to that. However, this is a shit show. Welcome to the Troll Patrol Live! It's a freaking Friday, not a fecal Friday. PP Girl, welcome in. Good evening. I'm not high enough for this shit. We've got Erika, Kirk. For some reason, I keep wanting to call her Erika Trump. Is that one of Trump's grandkids? Erika Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk, will be speaking momentarily from TPUSA. Ooh! Yay, I'm glad you have weed, so let's light one up, tip one back. I'm trying to conserve until Curiouser comes back over this way in a few days. I got enough to get me through tomorrow. Probably. Speaking, she got me this shirt, by the way. No one is illegal on stolen land. I love it. Fucking A, and wholeheartedly agree with the message. Oh shit, you've been playing Silk Song. I've heard it's hard. I haven't played the first two yet. I own them though. One of these days. I like, because they're Castlevania-like, aren't they? I'll be into it. BB Girl, that's what cards are here. And Curiouser got one last time we went. I think I may start getting one. And maybe just taking vapes on stream and shit. Perhaps help me conserve money going forward. Hey, YouTube people. I made some chuds real mad on YouTube earlier. Any of you want to argue with me? We'll open up the phone lines after Charlie's widow speaks. You guys can call in and tell me how horrible of a person I am. I get really choked up on the cart still So probably after I'd gotten the hang of those, I'd probably demolish them as fast as I do flour. But who knows? I hit that one constantly for a week, and it still lasted me a week. $25 for a week. Because I didn't have any flour most of the week. Okay, I've got somebody in the YouTube telling me I should lay off the Mary Jane. Don't get so heavy on it. It is greatly affecting your comprehension skills. Here's the problem. What comprehension skills are you talking about? My comprehension skills are perfectly fine. I understand what's going on. Here's the problem is all you right-wing dipshits seem to think that this shooter was on the left when he wasn't. As I called it right after it happened, dude is a groiper. Now, right-wingers are posting two things to say that he is a left-winger. A conversation he had with his family that was cited in the arrest affidavit, which only states that he had strong feelings against Charlie Kirk. That does not indicate that he was a leftist. By no means. They're saying the thing about the fascist on the bullet. Catch this fascist. Means that he's anti-fascist. But no, groipers have spent the last 6 years calling Charlie Kirk a fascist. So 100% in line with it. Now, the other thing they're citing is a report from a supposed school classmate that said that he was hard left in a all-Republican family. And it was an unnamed classmate. They did not put their name on this. It was reported by The Guardian, so usually The Guardian's pretty good. Warlord, welcome in. But I can show you that he dressed up as Donald Trump for Halloween. I can show you that he dressed up as a groiper meme for Halloween. So dude is not a leftist. The idea that he was, and the whole, the bulge thing, that's what they called the pro-trans ideology. It was a fucking groiper joke about trans people and seeing bulges. Come the fuck on, guys. Media literacy is dead in this fucking country, but it's also, hey, I can't blame it on just like average people, right? Average people on Twitter not knowing what a groiper is. It's not their fault. Good on them for not knowing these idiotic Nazis are out there. Human beings are so good at detecting patterns that we see patterns even when there are none present. I can tell you that he is right wing. This is the easiest way to tell. All the right wingers are going back and deleting their tweets about him. So there you go. The idea that there was this far leftist in Utah is just insane. Well, brother, I'm not streaming to zero, and I'm only on Kick because Twitch banned me. I'm sure Nick Fuentes denounced him. Of course he would. Now, this event that we're getting ready to watch, it said that it would be streaming, okay, on all TPUSA streaming platforms, including YouTube, X, and Rumble. Okay, cool. Smokey, hey, well, you guys can check out Smokey here. This event is supposed to get started here in about 5 minutes. So that's why I was getting ready to look up I had the TPUSA page open. Apparently even the AP is covering it. God damn. Here, we'll go to Right Side Broadcasting. They are live. They are interviewing people. Apparently this is happening at Auburn University. I thought it was in Arizona.
And obviously we never thought a situation like this would be the result of having that. And every single time, at least half a dozen on college campuses, Charlie came back and he said, it's you. It's this young girl, it's this young boy, it's a college student, it's the campus, it's the people, it's you. If that doesn't give you hope, if that doesn't give you chills today...
Buddy, that's what a grifter's going to say to you.
You can kill a man, but you can't kill a movement. And the coward that assassinated my friend in cold blood this week tried to shut our generation up.
His friend.
And you're going to see that tonight.
Flash these nuts. Welcome in.
They could be bar hopping, but they're going to be here praying for Charlie.
Ease Anderson, welcome.
It's already at Fall Kirk with the center at...
Yes, let's blame it on the vax.
So inspired to see students.
Charlie took the vax. That's
and it's something
why he
that's
died.
sweeping across the nation.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we've had over 100...
Pour one out for the Twitch stream that got clapped since his death.
These are my friends.
Which is mine.
Charlie was a larger-than-life, walking, talking beacon of hope.
What?
And it hurts. It's painful. And I'll say this. It's really easy to want to pack up. It's really easy to want to say, hey...
I feel sorry for you, kiddo.
It's too dangerous.
If
the safety of just being a normal college
Charlie Kirk was a walking, talking beacon of hope for you...
We're doing this for Charlie. We're going to continue this legacy for Charlie.
Shut the fuck up, Warlord. You didn't do that.
I won't allow that to happen. This is our Andrew Breitbart moment where we get so inspired and so pissed off that we don't just go to anger like he wouldn't have wanted us to do. We go straight to activism. And
the Breitbart moment?
And almost a pregame happening as it's homecoming week here to see all these people out for the parade and for the pep rally. It's almost, in a weird way, reassuring as we go through all of these different emotions.
It absolutely is. And we're in a moment in this country where so many people seek hope, where so many people are looking for answers. And I'm going to be honest with you. The answers are not in a conservative leader. The answers are not in the Republican Party. Charlie's going to be remembered for a lot of things over the next week. Yes, Charlie's political successes were so great. I told you on air.
No, they weren't, actually.
Donald Trump is sitting in the Oval Office this evening just because of Charlie, because of Charlie's work ethic.
No.
I will fully attest.
No.
But I will absolutely, passionately, and boldly say...
It was Elon Musk's $350 million.
As someone who put his faith first, because politics is temporary, faith is eternal.
Amen. And that's something that he actually mentioned on that podcast. He said, how would you like to be remembered? I'd like to be remembered for my faith. In a powerful moment as he sought holy marriages. He sought
holy marriages.
Church. He wanted boys to become men by getting themselves into the church.
He did. And if this inspires anything...
You wanted boys to get raped.
Go get raped.
That's what happens to boys in churches.
Story. I got a phone call. The only little bit of hope and positivity that I've had this week, my college pastor called probably 2 hours ago, and he said, Brylan, I know you're busy, I just want to tell you this. We had a young college student from Auburn come and knock on our church door this afternoon, and it's going to tear me up just thinking about it.
Oh, my
she said,
God.
I was a Charlie fan. I was a proud Republican. I went to his events. I followed him on social media, but I didn't follow the Lord. And I noticed that nobody was talking about his relationship with Donald Trump. They were talking about his relationship with Jesus Christ. Right. And she got saved in our church parking lot this evening. And I just know that Charlie is looking out a window in heaven smiling because he just gained a sister in Christ.
You are in a cult.
That is what we
God.
should be focusing on right now.
That really is an extraordinary story for people to give their lives to Christ, because we're seeing that revival on America's campuses. And you might think...
It's sad. It makes me want to cry.
For 4 years, not only to grow, but, they might just be partying the whole time, or it might be a useless degree. That's something that Charlie criticized on a regular basis.
A useless degree.
Higher education system.
I'm sure he's saying I have a useless degree. What, Charlie Kirk was a dropout.
you witness to Christ.
Ben Shapiro was like a theater kid.
Is what his legacy needs to be, not as a man of politics or a man of faith.
People keep saying young men are so lost, and I don't.
But above all that, he was a man of faith, and I appreciate y'all being here.
Thank you so much, Brylan. If you actually would direct us.
Yes.
Because like every time I see that, I'm like, that's my fault. How?
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Appreciate y'all.
We're going to toss to Erika right now, who is speaking.
Oh, here we go. Young men need pussy. Libertad, welcome in. So, I know nothing about Erika. Ooh. Good thing I didn't have any risque materials up there. Shit. There very well could have been. Oh, man, just scroll down just a little bit. There's some X-rays in my downloads folder. I don't know much about Erika. It seems that she was a model. She has filled in for him on his show, so I would assume. Flo, you're exactly right, because they are led by people like Charlie, but it's not that they're led. I have been taunting her, Flash. I posted my Charlie Kirk video under her thing saying we're hunting people down. But it's once again, the problem is capitalism. There is a market for grifters like Charlie Kirk to exist. There is a niche, there is an audience for it. Absent a capitalistic incentive, Charlie Kirk doesn't exist. We have the perfect storm of algorithms that lead people down this right-wing content because it keeps them glued to their phones and their screens. Well, there's also that part about it as well. Foster Freeze, the Koch brothers funded TPUSA. It's a fucking multi-million-dollar, if not billion-dollar operation that they lose money on in order to make sure that this motherfucker is able to do college tours all over the country. There's not people on the left that grab someone like me or David Pakman or Brian Tyler Cohen. I use those names specifically. And, make sure that we have everything taken care of so that we can go do college campus tours. We still have to have an audience. We have to be profitable. Like, the right-wing ecosystem is literally propped up by dark money and like view bots. It's insane. I saw somebody talking about Benny Johnson the other day, and Benny Johnson's views have just his subscribers have skyrocketed while his views have not. And I went and looked at it, like he's added like 3 million subscribers or something on YouTube, and he gets about the same amount of views, if not less, than like Sam Cedar, who has a third or less of the subscribers. So something's going on. I have no idea, Flash. I know they did away with bots. I saw several people say that they were quitting and going to Kick, and I would assume that would be why. Oh, yeah, fucking they prop up right-wing books. They'll buy a shit ton of copies of a book and then hand it out at events and shit. Like, there's just nothing like that on the left. I actually have to cultivate an audience. It's sickening. And all these people are out here saying, oh, Charlie Kirk was such a good man. He was an honest man, and he just had views, and people disagreed with him. I'm like, motherfucker, he bussed people to the Capitol to try to overturn our democracy. And you're telling me he's just a good man with differing views from me. The fuck he was. Dude on Twitter told me, oh, the left is taking clips out of context. I'm like, oh, well, how did I take this Paul Pelosi clip out of context? And the first thing he said to me was, it didn't happen. I gave him the clip. He goes, oh, no, this was about bail. He wasn't advocating to release the man that attacked Paul Pelosi. No, it was a statement about bail. But here's Flash. Did Hillary ever write a book? I have no idea if she did or not. She commissioned like these two writers to Erika is probably going to take over for Charlie. She commissioned these two writers to write a book, and it was supposed to be called Shattered, Breaking the Glass Ceiling. And after she lost, she'd already signed all the rights away and everything. So after she lost, it was shattered inside the doomed 2016 Hillary Clinton campaign. Because remember, she had that glass ceiling. She literally booked a venue that had a glass ceiling. But that book is fascinating. I loved it. It was a fantastic read. Byronic, welcome in. Now that Byronic's here, we can all get high. Light one up, tip one back. Well, screw her book. Read Shattered, the one she commissioned. Holy fuck, it's such a good book. I ate that. I read it in like 3 days. While working 2 full-time jobs. Hey, you're probably one of those people that read fiction. Yep. No, I read nonfiction, and then I play and watch my fiction. But I'm a weirdo. All right, here we go. Jesus. Oh, I guess she's praying. Fuck, she looks evil.
Good evening. My name is Erika Kirk. Charlie Kirk is my husband.
Was.
I first want to thank the local, state, and federal law enforcement who worked tirelessly to capture my husband's assassin so that he can be brought to justice. I want to thank the first responders who struggled heroically to save Charles's life.
Charles.
And the police who acted bravely to make sure that there were no other victims on that terrible afternoon. I want to thank the officers who have protected our Turning Point USA family these past 2 days. And I want to thank the Turning Point USA board the COO, Justin Strife, and my husband's chief of staff, the amazing Mikey McCoy, for all their work in these terrible days to be the stability for our family and for the wider Turning Point USA family as well. My heart is with every one of my husband's employees who lost a friend and a mentor. I want to thank the staffers of his amazing Charlie Kirk show, who helped him broadcast from this studio, this chair.
But that chair smells like shit.
He loved what he did. I want to thank the millions of people who have shown their love for Charlie here in Phoenix, across America, and worldwide. I want to thank my husband's dear friend, Vice President Vance, and his phenomenal wife, Usha, for their love and support. You guys honored my husband so well, bringing him home. You both are tremendous. I want to thank President Trump and his incredible family for the same. Mr. President, my husband loved you. And he knew that you loved him too. He did. Your friendship was amazing. You supported him so well, as did he for you.
She is evil.
2 days ago,
I am very unsettled by
Charlie
it.
went to see the face of his Savior and his God. Charlie always said that when he was gone, he wanted to be remembered for his courage and for his faith. And one of the final conversations that he had on this earth, my husband witnessed for his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Now and for all eternity, he will stand at his Savior's side, wearing the glorious crown of a martyr. Charlie loved life. He loved his life. He loved America. He loved nature, which helped him always bring him closer to God. He loved the Chicago Cubs. And my goodness, did he love the Oregon Ducks. He'd want me to say go Ducks, so I have to since they play on Saturday. So go Ducks. But most of all, Charlie loved his children. And he loved me with all of his heart. And I knew that. Every day I knew that. He made sure I knew that every day. Every day he would ask me, how can I serve you better? How can I be a better husband? How can I be a better father? Every day. Every day. He was such a good man.
She was a beauty queen.
He was the perfect father. He was the perfect husband. Charlie always believed that God's design for marriage and the family was absolutely amazing, and it is. It is, and it was the greatest joy of his life. And over, he would tell all these young people to come and find their future spouse, become wives and husbands and parents. And
wait, Christopher Globus?
You all to experience what he had and still has.
Are you an elderly
He wanted
person?
everyone to bring heaven into this earth through love and joy that comes from raising a family. It's beautiful. Charlie always said that if he ever ran for office, I know a lot of you asked if he ever was going to, but privately he told me if he ever did run for office that his top priority would be to revive the American family. That was his priority.
What does that mean?
One of Charlie's favorite Bible verses was Ephesians 5, verse 25. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. My husband laid down his life for me, for our nation, for our children. He showed the ultimate and true covenantal love. I will never, ever have the words to describe the loss that I feel in my heart. I honestly have no idea what any of this means. I know that God does, but I don't. But Charlie, baby, I know you do too. I know you do. So does our Lord. And our world is filled with evil. But our God, you guys, our God is so good. He's so incredibly good. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good. For those who are called.
God's so good, he put a bullet in your husband. Oh!
Already I have seen the worldwide outpouring of love for my husband. I've heard the testimonies from people my husband inspired to get married, to start families, to seek out a relationship with God. It's the most important one of all. The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done.
Everyone's a critic in the chat.
I killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's merciful love. But they should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country and this world. You have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife.
It was funny.
The cries of this widow will echo.
Other than the fact that she's like half my age. GOP mommy.
To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die. It won't. I refuse to let that happen. It will not die. All of us will refuse to let that happen. No one will ever forget my husband's name, and I will make sure of it. It will become stronger, bolder, louder, and greater than ever. My husband's mission.
No, I feel like TPUSA just dissipates.
And one of Charlie's greatest talents was his ability, this phenomenal ability to choose great people to follow him. He could always find the ones who could handle any setback. And it's almost like he knew. He could see it in you. Even when you couldn't see it in yourself, he just knew. He knew you could handle it. You thought you only had 5% left, and he knew you had 15. He knew you were ready to go that extra mile even when you didn't. He always challenged people around him to work harder and to be better. He never gave up. And I love knowing that one of his mottos was never surrender. So I want to tell you that we'll never surrender. We never will. Ever. Ever. Our campus tour this fall will continue. There will be even more tours in the years to come. America Fest here in Phoenix this December will go on. It will be greater than ever. The radio and podcast show that he was so proud of will go on. And in a world filled with chaos, doubt, and uncertainty, my husband's voice will remain. And it will ring out louder and more clearly than ever. And his wisdom will endure.
She's only 4 years younger, so that means she's older than Charlie.
My favorite too.
Or
My
Charlie
husband's
was.
favorite word in the English language
He got him a
was
mommy.
earn. He would call all of you to be people of action who earn the future America deserves. So to all of the young people who felt inspired by my husband's faith and hard work, all of you already know what Charlie would want you to do. You know. You know. If you're in high school or if you're in college, go find your local Turning Point USA chapter. Join it. Stay involved. He wants you to make a difference. And you can. You can. The movement's not going anywhere, and it will only grow stronger when you join it. If there isn't a chapter, you can't find one, then start one. There is no excuse. You can start one. And as my husband used to say in this room, every single day, if you want to get involved,
She basically did a like and subscribe, guys, in the middle of
That's
her
what he would say every day from this chair.
eulogy.
Every single day. I watched his show every day, and he would always say, if you want to get involved, go to TPUSA.com. If you're a pastor, join our movement at TPUSA Faith. And if you're a parent, I highly recommend that you come to America Fest in December. Sign up right now for that because we would love to see you. I would love to see you. Charlie would. He'll be there. He'll be there in spirit. Bring your kids, bring your family.
The way she said that, I was like, zombie, ghost, what?
A member of a church, I beg you to join one.
I guess she did mean ghost.
Church. Our battle is not simply a political one. Above all, it is spiritual. It is spiritual. The spiritual warfare is palpable. Charlie loved his Savior with all of his heart, and he wanted every one of you to know him too. He wanted everyone to know that if they confess the Lord Jesus Christ who rose from the dead, then they will be saved. Hear me when I say this, nobody is ever too young to know the gospel.
Use discount code SPIRIT.
Nobody is ever too young to get involved with saving this beautiful country. This country my husband loved and still loves. And nobody is ever too old either. There's no age limit.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure Trump has a too
My husband is
old.
still here. He's watching over us. I don't remember the last time I slept. I couldn't sleep last night. And Charlie, baby. Charlie, I promise I will never let your legacy die, baby.
Charlie,
I
baby.
promise I'll make Turning Point USA the biggest thing that this nation has ever seen. I promise. Oh, Charlie, I love you. I love you, baby. Rest in the arms of our Lord
Get a room.
as he blankets you with the words I know your heart always strived to hear. Well done, my good and faithful servant.
If there is a God, Charlie is not with him. He'd be looking up to God, I assure you.
Gigi, our daughter, just ran into my arms. And I talked to her and she said, Mommy, I missed you. I said, I miss you too, baby. She goes, where's Daddy? What do you tell a 3-year-old? She's 3.
Now that is heartbreaking. I feel sorry for the kid.
I said, baby, Daddy loves you so much. Don't you worry. He's on a work trip with Jesus, so he can afford your blueberry budget. And my goodness, am I so humbled to witness.
Gotta teach some kids about capitalism.
Jesus right now, doing what you always want to do, baby. Making heaven crowded, right? That's what it's all about. Making heaven crowded. I can't wait to see you again one day.
Do it. Do it. Do it right now on camera.
Who supported him, who wrote him an email every single day during his radio show. He read all of them. All of them. God bless you all. And may God bless America.
Well, there you have it. And yeah, they did the chair like that. As like a, because I figured she was gonna come sit in his chair. But then once she stood at the podium, I'm like, oh yeah, the chair is gonna be a tribute. They're gonna leave it empty. Yada yada yada. He's there. He's in his chair in spirit. It's like those people that go to a ball game. They had their significant other, their friend that they went with, or their dad, and then they die, and then they go and sit in the empty chair. It's a prop. Yet she, first of all, I was creeped out the entire time. She's like evil Kesha. She's Kesha's Wario. She's Wesha. But the first thing, she came out and she mumbled about Jesus. And it sounded like she was like the way I would say Jesus. It cracked me up. But apparently she was praying before she started speaking. And at one point in time, her eyes rolled back in her head, like when she first started talking. And that looked really scary to me. But here's the thing is when I was doing the prep for this, I saw pictures of her and I thought, wow, she actually looks like a lovely young lady. You can see her smiling there. She looks happy. She looks like she has a soul. But that entire time, I guess it was the forced acting that she did. Can we all agree that's what happened? It seemed really forced, everything. And I don't want to criticize somebody that just lost their significant other. That feels icky to me, because usually in a situation like this, I would not hold it against them that, you know, she's not media trained. She doesn't come out here and talk on camera every day. But like this is a little different. She does. She has filled in for Charlie Kirk. She's made public appearances. She's given speeches. Well, that's what I would Holiday. That's what I would usually say about if we're hearing from a widow or something. I would usually give them that grace, but this time that it just all felt so forced.
Team here tonight.
This is the Charlie Kirk Vigil at Auburn University.
Events coordinator.
Fair enough, John. You are correct, and welcome in, my friend.
Secretary Adam.
I'm sure she didn't want to do it.
Caroline Boren, our co-media director, and we're started.
Even if she doesn't mind the spotlight, that's a horrible situation to be put in.
Thank you all very much for coming out tonight. Just a few closing remarks before we wrap up. I think we can all agree that this past week has been probably one of the roughest ones we have seen in a while. With
Why?
horrific events from all across the country to our very backyard, we encourage everyone to keep our country in your prayers.
Are you talking about the school shooting?
Commit to living our lives like Charlie in a Christ-like manner and in a constant will to see this country be great. Charlie's passing does not mark an end, but
I feel like TPUSA will completely fall apart.
At a time where our country,
because didn't Foster Freeze die? One of the Koch brothers is dead. The one that did all the political funding is dead. The other one is just more philanthropic.
Please join me in a moment of silence, followed by the.
So I don't know that TPUSA doesn't fall completely the fuck apart.
I believe Mr. Graham Ice is
Because they had two founders. One of them died of COVID
myself.
as TPUSA
Thank you.
was coming out against COVID measures. Yep, Bill Montgomery. How am I a piece of trash? Steeler. I love this. I literally made a video showing Charlie Kirk being callous to shooting victims. And people still came to the video. It was like, oh, you're a piece of shit.
Wait.
Amazing. Is that what we're doing? Oh, we're doing the... That's not the national anthem. That's America the Beautiful. I almost said national anthem. I had to stop myself. I was at pause. And yeah, hearing all this, like, the left is so violent, their violent rhetoric. I watched you motherfuckers propose bills to be able to run over protesters. One of them was called the Thump Thump Bill. You guys revel in killing people. You made a hero out of that Daniel Penny motherfucker. Kyle Rittenhouse. Daniel Penny killed a man on a subway who was having a mental health issue, who hadn't laid a finger on anybody or committed no crime whatsoever that day. And you guys cheered on him being killed.
Thank you very much for your support.
And you have the audacity to get the thing is when I make fun of people dying, it's always people that, you know,
Family.
were callous towards other people dying,
Thank you.
that made the world a worse place, that were public figures that deserve scorn. When right-wingers make fun of people dying, it's always like some poor drug-addled dude or a schizophrenic having a hard time.
Amazing Grace initiative.
You guys are the disgusting, vile pieces of shit.
America and honor our foundation.
It's like with comedy. When I do my comedy, I'm like punching up at people.
Deliver them.
You guys want to make fun of you want to make fun of the people with no power in society. You want to pick on the little people and then get all upset when any of us fucking criticize those in power. How am I a child? You're the one that came into my goddamn chat and started crying.
8-degree evening on Auburn University's campus.
Dumbass. This is why I call right-wingers morons.
Some people here.
You're the dumbest fucks walking the planet.
And what, sir, you think about tonight and Charlie's legacy and everything that's just going through your mind right now?
Charlie's legacy is that he was a traitor to this country. They just sang America the Beautiful to someone who was a traitor to the country.
What happened?
Fuck him. Fuck Charlie Kirk.
That Charlie Kirk had been shot, and I at first thought she was just... I mean, it's not just something to joke around with, but I didn't think she was really being very serious about it. I thought it was maybe just an attempt to... I didn't realize it was very serious at first. And then whenever we realized how serious it was and how bad it was, I would say I felt a mixture of anger and a desire for justice.
Anger?
I am myself a deep...
I mean, I will keep going.
And I was trying to...
It's my show.
Moving forward,
I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Ideal.
You want to call in Steelers? What? Like, how am I in the wrong here?
I was still trying to, because obviously Charlie was very, very Christian. I wanted to do it.
And you gotta love the right wingers talking about how like the violent rhetoric of the Democrats and using dehumanizing language while they literally call us every name in the book.
Legacy moving forward, and I think.
And blame us
really
for the right winger that killed this guy.
Because the moment we resort to violence is the...
Buddy, nobody wants to... What is up with you people? Ban me, ban me. And fuck, dude.
Then you just have violence, and that's terrible. So
go play victim somewhere else. Nobody gives a shit.
We see alumni. We see families here. It is homecoming weekend in week 3 of college football for the Auburn Tigers as we welcome South Alabama here to campus. And it's a striking...
Yeah, please keep hate watching and commenting. I love it.
Friend, I'm an alumni.
Ironic made the comment to me that I seemed happy the other day when on my last day on Twitch.
Without Charlie Kirk,
as we had all the chuds in here and it was really busy. I feel like Neo.
Outside of just the universe.
Like I've got all kinds of bullets coming at me. I'm just dodging them all.
Now the pep rally, and now this, a prayer vigil for an extraordinary human being that really puts history into perspective and brings it to life, because
I really did enjoy it.
Was there in the late 60s when we lost President Kennedy, Senator Kennedy, his brother, who was the former Attorney General, and then ultimately in 1968, that civil rights leader who preached nonviolence, who strived to live a Christ-like Reverend Martin.
Free Sirhan.
I think Charlie Kirk is the most significant person, perhaps since then, to preach that gospel message in the political sphere.
Yes, no, I actually would say my grandfather was a doctor in Memphis when Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, and the first
they keep comparing this motherfucker to Martin Luther King. That is disgusting.
How eerily.
Because do you know what Charlie Kirk was against? The Civil Rights Act.
I thought of the exact same thing because he was a powerhouse. Charlie was just as like Martin.
Just absurdity.
Couldn't stand to talk to him. They had to resort to violence. And I will agree, like Auburn, I went to undergrad here and graduate school here. I actually graduated last year in May. I have two brothers that go to Auburn. My parents went to Auburn. I'm a fourth generation Auburn student. So Auburn's in my blood, and it's a great city. It's a great place. And I also was a member of Turning Point.
For those of you who are unaware, Auburn is in Alabama. It is not a great place.
What it means to me now, back then. But
is Auburn an all right city, especially grading on the curve that it's in Alabama? Yeah, sure.
These past weeks, just the shooting.
Tuscaloosa is probably cooler than Auburn, though.
The shooting in Denver, a very tragic situation to happen, and just Auburn. I know as a whole community, Auburn is very special, and we will continue to pray. We're a very religious community.
A lot of generational wealth.
Jesus here in Auburn, Alabama, and just it's a beautiful.
The fuck are you? How did I fuck up, my friend?
Pray for Charlie and his family. I will pray for. I have been praying. I honestly
call in. The phones, they're going open.
Pray this much for a person I've never met, or feel this sad for a person that I've never met.
Buddy, that is insane.
Charlie, his family has my support.
If you have that kind of a relationship with Charlie fucking Kirk, you live a very sad life.
I know thousands of people are all.
Phone lines are open, 917-830-4359.
It is the.
What do you mean you wish me well? You came in here talking shit about me and how horrible I am.
Continue.
Peace be with you.
Here. Thank you, sir, for your thoughts tonight. It really.
Get the fuck out of here, Chud.
Hall, right near Sanford Hall. This is where they roll the.
We roll the oaks right over here. All these oaks around. This is where we roll the tumors with toilet paper after a victory at a football game or a basketball game or any other sports event.
Did they not win this weekend?
Which, in a way, honors Charlie in the sense because he was on these college campuses. And
they might have had an away game.
Free speech message. Thank you again so much for your time. And as we see, people are still congregating.
For those of you who are unaware, Auburn
Hall, and we'll lead on that way to
is where Tommy Tuberville, the senator from Alabama,
here. Hello, men.
Was the football coach.
Really, that message of Charlie.
That should explain everything to you.
He was seeking to grow boys to men by getting into church, by getting into community.
Boys to men were excellent.
To come out here to celebrate his life.
These crackers ain't got no fucking.
I was just at the gym and
boys to men rhythm.
I didn't think I would be able to make it here on time, but I was able to clip the end.
Look at this twink.
Man, he just inspired a lot of people in my generation.
That's how inspired you to do what, you dipshit?
Figure embody Christian ideals so closely to Charlie.
He doesn't. Have you read the Bible? Nothing that came from Charlie Kirk's mouth had anything to do with Christianity.
Night to Trump winning and just seeing his family crowded around him and them all crying and hugging on each other. I mean, first.
That's like the dude on Twitter that was like, conservatives are just for like freedom of expression and personal liberty. And I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? We have ICE terrorizing communities, doing papers, please, on the streets. detaining citizens for days at a time. And you're telling me you're for free expression
the pep rally
and personal liberty.
in front of
Like, you say those things, but you don't actually mean it.
James Kirk.
Yeah, so I've already
That's what's infuriating with right
I've seen
wingers.
such a difference. I had the opportunity to share the gospel with this group, and they were all awakened just by Charlie's legacy and what he left behind.
Jesus,
And starting to
quesadilla. They keep saying how fucking great he was, but it's Jesus.
Are starting.
He spread the word of
like,
Jesus.
just like he was talking about earlier. I seen one today that came to faith because of Charlie and the legacy that he left behind.
That's absurd to me.
And ultimately, that's really what Charlie stood for. And
Was it?
the faith
Because Jesus said,
demonstrated.
welcome foreigners into your country. Treat foreigners better than you would your own countrymen.
And that's what the crucial message is for anyone who's been to a Turning Point conference,
Do unto others as they would have do unto you.
and then you get to know Charlie and see him in action. It was always that happy warrior spirit.
Turn the other cheek.
Humility.
Charlie Kirk did not turn the other cheek. He went to campuses
to give the shirt off his
and said incendiary things in order to make
Absolutely. Charlie
money on YouTube.
hard worker, and he could have.
And I feel like I'm losing my goddamn mind that people are lionizing him as if he was some civil rights leader or something.
Every single
It's
campus. Not the easiest
insane.
to do. I mean, he could have hit up campuses like Auburn, with barely any people who disagree with him. But he went to, the battleground states. And, man, a man like that just has endless courage.
I mean, I guess he had courage. I can give him that.
that you can apply to your own as you move through school here at
Kinda?
University.
Because, I feel like he would debate more people that could eat him for
Extraordinary support
breakfast
outside of a tragedy such
if he had more
I would
courage.
say the importance of the gospel and the fight against evil in the world. And I just want to share this also. As soon as I heard about the whole Charlie situation, instantly I went to, and for anybody on the camera, is at least we know and we have the hope of Jesus. That
What?
God he served, at least we have that hope after death. And Charlie had that hope, and we can know for sure because of Jesus and him giving us that hope.
and that's
I can know for sure that Charlie Kirk
and that's a legacy that
ain't nowhere right now. If there was a God, he'd be rotting in hell.
in Alabama in this great Yellowhammer state. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time tonight, and our prayers and thoughts with you and the entire community in this process. Absolutely. And as we continue to talk to more people and we see
We'll
people
come back to Right Side Broadcasting here in a little bit. Individual, let's discuss the shooter. This is the latest concerning his Discord messaging.
We're beginning to learn more about the suspect in the shooting. This is 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. Authorities say that Robinson used the social media platform Discord to
Flash,
send messages about
calipers.
the rifle and the ammunition that was used in the shooting. And so for more on these messages and really a breakdown of Discord, we bring in our next guest to help break it all down. Jennifer Graham with Deseret News. Great to have you on, and a lot of fast moving parts to this story. And I think a lot of people are interested in this Discord aspect.
Yeah, it's an interesting platform and one that a lot of people don't know much about because it's really for the youngest Americans. It's not your father's social media.
I know nothing about Discord.
Yeah, so if you could just for our viewers break down what this platform is.
Sure. It's an app that was founded in 2015. Primarily at the time it was founded, it was just supposed to be a place where video game aficionados could go and chat about their games. And it took off because a lot of young people are interested in video games, not just young people, of course. But over the years, it expanded
Video
into
games
a
are
more
cool,
robust
Miss
platform,
Bangs.
and it added video features, phone calling features, all the same kinds of features you see on like Facebook. But again, it was largely directed towards the gaming community. In recent years, it has expanded somewhat where there are, I was amused to find out there are like book clubs that meet on there. and they're like knitting circles. So there's some people you wouldn't expect to be on Discord there, but it's primarily young men, people who are interested in gaming, and they are attracted to this platform in part not only because of the gaming community, but because of the way the servers are set up. You can set up these very private communities that other people don't have access to what you're seeing. There's not a traditional feed, so to speak, like you would get on Facebook or even X, but you can set up your own little rooms, and you can engineer them so that nobody can see them but you and the people you invite.
Yeah, that's a great breakdown, Jennifer. So who was Robinson messaging?
Well, that remains to be seen because we don't know a whole lot about these messages other than what was said in
I am totally
this morning.
convinced he's a groiper.
Gave
everything from the shit that he wrote on the shells.
Authorities had talked
screams
to
groiper.
A friend of Tyler's who had shared messages with him that he had seen.
Fuentes follower phrenology.
Clear whether the messages were sent to him, we can infer that, I guess, but it's not clear if there was a group or not, or if it was just this one person who was seeing these messages in which he made reference to dropping the gun somewhere and wrapping it in a towel, which of course we already knew because the authorities had already retrieved the rifle. So not a
Okay, Flash, explain this to me since you're here. Did he take the rifle apart? Can you surmise that from the video of him jumping off the roof? Was the rifle still together, or did he take it apart? And if he took it apart, why was it reassembled in the woods where he left it? That seems odd.
Lot there, except for the fact that he was on this platform. Discord has come out within the past couple of hours and has said that there was not any sort of planning in his exchanges with his friends. Not like we have seen.
Okay, but they found it with the barrel screwed on. Steelers, would you like to call in and talk to us? I will be happy to answer any questions that you have. You mentioned, what has Charlie Kirk done? He bussed people to the Capitol on January 6th to try to overturn the election. He said that the Civil Rights Bill was a bad idea. He said that Paul Pelosi's attackers should be freed from prison. He advocates against rights for black people. Everyone was talking about how he's for free expression. Mehdi Hassan pointed out that Charlie Kirk advocated for Mehdi to be deported for one of the monologues he gave on his show on MSNBC. He ran with it assembled. That's what I didn't. I saw somebody say that it had been disassembled, but I couldn't tell that from the video. You're fake new, you freak. Mike Honcho, my friend, do a better job at making a cogent statement. Brother, you could talk to me right fucking now. Why are you a coward? Oh, yeah. He said executions should be put on television. Cool, Mike. What am I lying about? Please, come at me. How am I a pussy little boy? You're the one that won't call in.
Some of the other mass shooting cases that were horrifically tied to Discord in the past, where people actually had plans. In one case, someone was streaming him.
You said all I can do, but I answered your question succinctly, you dipshit.
Rampage. So it's interesting because these shooters, they're loners in a sense, but they also seem to want to connect. They want to be telling other people about what they're doing.
Great job, Mike. You did a great job proving your point. You're totally not a dumb fuck.
Because it seemed like he had deep planning on this and, took great lengths.
I absolutely debate.
From the scene and try to really get away with it. But then he's going online and...
917-830-4359. My phone line's wide open. I debate people all the time. There are all kinds of videos of me debating people on my YouTube. I turned to MAGA. Sensible, at least. I probably deprogrammed him from being MAGA the other day. How am I a sheep, exactly? If I am able to get behind a microphone and a camera and have a discussion and be able to make my argument succinctly, how does that make me a sheep? I mean, I call people dumb fucks when they're being dumb fucks. I'm sorry. You know what we call you, dumb fuck? Don't be a dumb fuck. Don't come in my chat and say stupid shit. Light one up, tip one back, bitches. Mike Honcho, you get a titty slap.
A titty slap!
Come on now.
I'd love to debate. I'm in a mood tonight. Fucking one of you call in, please. Debate me, bitches. I am debate. You guys aren't any fun.
Key information.
Yeah, exactly. And so much of this is just bewildering, right? I mean, there was a huge degree of planning, but there was also sloppiness, like in the pictures that we saw of him going up the stairs at the university, where he was putting a bare hand on a railing and, very clearly leaving DNA. So, I mean, he was smart, but he wasn't that smart, right?
Yeah, I think initially a lot of people were thinking, this has to be professional. And then when we started seeing the videos come out and the photos, we're like, nah, I don't think so.
Yeah, and that's an unusual part about this because the shot was so shocking and so terribly perfect in the way that it landed, right? I mean, I wish I could unsee that video, but I can't, like so many of us. And I mean, it did look like an assassin of the highest level, right? I mean, the kind of snipers we would hope are in our United States Armed Forces defending ourselves against enemies, not a 22-year-old who has just somehow stumbled into this.
What's she smoking?
It
looked like you've watched too many fucking action movies, ma'am.
That's such a great point, too. And I wonder, is there any type of...
no, you're the clown-looking bitch around here, Steelers.
Social media...
No, she's actually really pretty. She can be my GOP mommy.
And try to flag these key words that people are talking about and try to say, okay, we got a red flag here.
Well, Discord is already doing that, and I think the other platforms are as well. I mean, if you spend any time on X, for example, you'll see that people try to get around certain words. They won't write the word shooter, for example. They'll use asterisks instead. So there are words that are out there being monitored by these platforms. And Discord, who has been at the center of a handful of these shootings, has had to put out statements in the past saying that they were going to have tighter control.
Steelers, why are you so mad, bro?
They actually did refer to authorities some disturbing conversation that they had seen on the platform that wound up getting somebody in custody before he actually did.
Seriously, how are you going to come in here and be like raging in my chat?
So, in one aspect, I mean, the companies are doing something, but they can't do everything. The sheer number of people who are on these platforms, I think Discord right now is saying they have 200 million.
It's very easy.
So
it's very easy to find the motherfuckers that are going to do this kind of shit.
They really are. Jennifer, thanks so much for joining us on Live Now from Fox. Great breakdown.
I can write the profile. Flash could write the profile for you and tell you all the places to monitor to make sure that you don't have it. You probably eliminate a good 80% of shootings because there are a lot of them are like lone wolves. That might not even have a social media presence. The Cook Boy comes to mind. Because, I mean, I'd like to say that he was a groiper. But we can't really make that distinction because we don't really know much about him. It didn't seem like he was online all that much. And you kind of have to really be online. But he had a Telegram, so that he was possibly online and just good at hiding his tracks. Did you call us snooty? Yeah, didn't he have a Telegram? No, Flash, I'm talking about Crooks. The Trump shooter. The one that hit him in the ear. He had a Telegram channel, right? Because he didn't have a social media presence, but he had a Telegram channel. So, like, that's weird that somebody would have no social media presence, but also be on Telegram. But I might be misremembering this. Let's hear from some of the people in the neighborhood where 22-year-old Tyler Robinson lived.
The neighbor of Tyler Robinson, we're ready to speak with us. Miss Kristen Schwerman, can you hear me okay this morning?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about your relationship with Tyler. How well did you know him?
Tyler went to the school I was a head custodian at. I was at that school for 18 years. I know all three of his brothers also.
And one thing I want to ask you, is this something, I'm so sorry to cut you off, is this something consistent with who you know him to be?
No, no, kid was smart, quiet, he never caused any problems.
Are you shocked by this?
It was a shock. Oh yes, I am shocked. Very shocked.
What can you tell him about us? I mean, excuse me, what can you tell us about Tyler Robinson? You said you've known him for quite some time, as well as his siblings. Any kind of characteristics or anything that you could tell us and share about him?
You know what I know about Tyler is he was always very quiet. He was very smart. He had just a real mellow personality, never caused any problems. He, like I said, he was smart and he kept to himself, and I don't know who his friends were as of now.
It's the people he was talking to online you need to be worried about.
Right now, I know you said you're shocked. Are neighbors having any conversation about Tyler?
Oh, yes, I'm sure. I haven't been out too much this morning. I've talked to a few people, but those people haven't lived here long enough. I've lived in the neighborhood for 16 years. This
isn't really informative, is it?
I'm sure everybody in the neighborhood's shocked because most of these people have been here forever and know him as that kind of kid I did.
And has there been any activity at the family home this morning? We know there is a heavy police presence right now at Utah Valley University, but in your neighborhood, is it business as usual, pretty quiet, or is there an increased presence of law enforcement?
There's a little bit of law enforcement, a lot of news. The neighbors are out walking just to see. Their house is quiet, but their house is always really kind of busy on the weekends and early in the morning when they leave for school and work.
And Kristen, before we let you go, talk to us about, have you been following the Charlie Kirk shooting, the murder here at Utah Valley University, as the rest of not only the state but the nation, and then to find out this morning that in fact your neighbor Tyler Robinson was arrested in connection with this shooting? What are your thoughts as we go back from Wednesday to where we're at now?
I did watch the press on the shooting pretty much all that day. My grandson happened to be at that rally. And then this morning, my son texted me and said, hey, this is Tyler Robinson that lives 3 doors down. And I'm like, no, it can't be. And it was. And it's shocking. That's not who's in
When the cops showed up, did they knock on the door and be like, Mrs. Robinson?
Amber. She's a great mom, and he has a great dad.
And Kristen, did you see the images that police had released yesterday, that the FBI had released, the photos of the suspect? What were your impressions when you saw that and to where we're at this morning?
Yeah, did you recognize him? Did you say, hey, that's Ty?
Probably Flash.
Not in those
Such a small-knit community.
I think he had covered his face well enough. But, I mean, I have their family photo on my phone, their new one, and I would have not noticed that was...
Why? That's kind of weird.
And Miss Kristen, I want to ask
7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, but for Mormons.
You know, we know that Tyler right now is booked in the Utah County jail.
That was painful, them trying to get something out of her. Let's go to Democracy Now! Amy Goodman, take it away. Let's talk about how Trump is weaponizing. Oh, before we do that, let's do this. Flash brought it up earlier while Erika was speaking. Trump was asked about Charlie Kirk. Really seemed like he could care less about his supposed friend being assassinated.
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks. They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty. It'll be an absolutely magnificent structure. And I just see all the trucks. We just started, so it'll get done very nicely, and it'll be...
So he was asked about Charlie Kirk's assassination, pivots directly to the ballroom.
How are you holding up over the last 3.5 days? I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks. They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House.
But is Trump showing respect for Charlie Kirk?
150 years, and it's going to be a beauty. It'll be an absolutely magnificent...
Talk about how awesome his ballroom's going to be.
So it'll get done...
But that is not stopping Trump from weaponizing Charlie Kirk's death.
President Trump has just announced on Fox News.
Yeah, it's going to be the Charlie Kirk ballroom.
Shot the conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Killing him has been caught. Trump said, quote, "I think with a high degree of certainty we have him in custody," unquote. Trump's comments came a day after the FBI announced a $100,000 reward for information leading to an arrest. Officials also released photos and video of the suspected gunman who shot Kirk during an outdoor event at Utah Valley University. A bolt-action rifle was also recovered in a wooded area near the campus. In one video, the suspected gunman is seen jumping from a roof on campus and running away.
Oh, that's a professional gunman if I ever saw one.
Honor Charlie Kirk with a posthumous Presidential Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civilian honor. Trump also escalated his attacks on the political left, saying, quote, "We just have to beat the hell out of them."
We have a great country. We have radical left lunatics out there, and we just have to beat the hell out of them.
On the floor of the House, Republican Representative Bob Under of Missouri described the political left as, quote, "pure evil."
Well, everything has changed. If we didn't know it already, there is no longer any middle ground. Some of the American left are undoubtedly well-meaning people, but their ideology is pure evil. They hate the good, the truth, and the beautiful, and embrace the evil, the false, and
wow.
This call comes as some lawmakers, including Congressmember Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, are canceling or postponing public events out of safety concerns. To talk about all of this and more, we're joined by Mehdi Hasan, editor-in-chief and CEO of Zeteo, where his new piece is headlined, Hypocritical conservatives are using Charlie Kirk's horrific murder to cynically smear the left. Mehdi, welcome back to Democracy Now! Why don't you lay out what you're seeing in these last few days as we talk about this breaking news that the suspected gunman has been caught?
Thanks, Amy, for having me. The problem with this administration, of course, is you can't trust anything they say. Kash Patel put out multiple statements over the last 48 hours suggesting that somebody's been caught, somebody's in custody. They leaked to the Wall Street Journal that there was trans ideology on the weapon and then walked it back. We have an administration of gaslighters and serial liars. So unfortunately, in the old days, even if a president lied, you could try and take the bureaucracy or the law enforcement people, maybe sometimes that they were. Now you have to start from a position of pure skepticism. So I don't believe anything Trump says until I see more verification. I do hope they've caught the person. The problem is, Amy, that from the moment Charlie Kirk was horrifically murdered on camera, a horrific act, inexcusable act on Wednesday in Utah. From the
being on camera is what got me banned on Twitch.
Conservatives, prominent figures in this country on the right, went to work to blame this on the left, even though the killer was not in custody. Apparently is now. Let's see the alleged killer. No killer in custody, no motive. And yet, for the last 36, 48 hours, we've been told again and again that the left did this. The left killed Kirk. The left has blood on its hands. And I wrote that piece for Zeteo because I was deeply frustrated at what I was seeing.
It means a dipshit died.
It's dangerous, right? Your response to political...
That's what it means.
Political violence cannot be to ratchet up. More political violence, more dehumanization and demonization. And the reality is, of course, as I say, we don't know the motive of the killer. Let's say the killer turns out to be someone on the left. Even then, that doesn't mean the right is somehow scot-free here. And that's why I wrote my piece pointing out that the vast majority of right-wing political violence in this country comes from Trump supporters, comes from people on the far right, comes from all sorts of people who have horrific views about minorities and white
The overwhelming majority of violence in this country comes from the right.
Just a few weeks ago, I know the right-wingers have been erasing her killing, but Melissa Hortman, the Speaker Emerita of the Minnesota House, was murdered in her home with her husband. Another lawmaker was shot and almost killed with his partner. That was done by a Trump supporter this summer. Trump didn't even bother to show up at the funeral. No one mentions Melissa Hortman's death on the right when they're talking about political violence. We've erased January 6th. We've erased the attack on Josh Shapiro's home earlier this year. We've erased multiple attacks over the years that have been attributed to, or that the suspect turned out to be some kind of Trump supporter. And I think that is why I wrote that piece, because there's a real rewriting of history going on here. It's what far-right regimes do after tragedies like this. They try and weaponize them to go after their enemies. And Trump's made that very clear in all his statements, the radical left. This is a guy who has incited violence himself, including on January the 6th.
I wanted to turn to Hunter Kozak. He's the Utah Valley University student who posed a question to Charlie Kirk about gun violence just before Kirk was shot and killed.
5 is a lot, right? I'm going to give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
On Thursday, that young man, he was 29 years old, Hunter Kozak, the Utah Valley University, I think he was a student, posted his message response to what happened after he asked the question.
And people have obviously pointed to the irony that the point that I was trying to make is how peaceful the left was right before he got shot. And that only makes sense if we stay peaceful. And as much as I disagree with Charlie Kirk, I'm on the record for how much I disagree with Charlie Kirk, but like, man, dude, he is still a human being. Have we forgotten that?
That's Hunter Kozak, who posed the question.
Mike, I have no idea what you're talking about. You sound like a lunatic. Most of the people in this country have no idea who Charlie Kirk is. Charlie Kirk's movement is going to dissipate. He's going to end up like Rush Limbaugh, forgotten. Nobody's going to give a shit about him because he had no lasting impact on anything. Nobody gives a shit about Charlie Kirk. Those kids that we watched, and they were all punk-ass kids. Or they're brainwashed dipshits like you that are terminally online. But, like, they had no substance in any of the things that they said about him. It was all just like, he turned people to Jesus. Rush, do it. Do it. And even Rush Limbaugh, before he died, knew the truth.
As a conservative, it's getting harder and harder to not look like a kook.
I just can't believe the kooks took over, and now it feels like I'm losing my mind. Because now I have to hear about what a good man Charlie Kirk was, while he was a vile piece of shit and a racist and a white supremacist that it was literally a traitor to this country. So, I'm sorry, Honcho. Like, I don't know what you think is going on in your alternate reality fucking right-wing fantasy bubble that you live in, but it ain't the reality, I assure you. What am I blind to? Fucking say something, brother. You are just making meaningless statements with no supporting evidence, no backing argument. You have nothing. You look stupid.
He started by asking about how many trans mass shooters Charlie Kirk thought they were, and then talked about that percentage is the number of mass shooters in this country. But as he says, was horrified, as here is Charlie Kirk answering a question about gun violence, then is shot dead. Your response to this young man who's in a lot of pain, he said, in fact, though he disagrees with almost everything, is known for opposing Charlie Kirk, himself a TikToker. His wife just gave birth to their second child. He sees their families, both of them having 2 children. And he said, but I'm absolutely against violence and for his freedom of expression.
Amy, we all are. I mean, 99% of people in this country, I hope, are against politically motivated murders. I mean, it's horrific. What happened to Charlie Kirk is horrific on a human level, on a political level, on multiple levels. And, people are going around saying, well, he didn't believe in empathy, so I don't care. Well, just the fact that he didn't believe in empathy is irrelevant. I believe in empathy. Most of us should have empathy, and I do have empathy for his wife and kids. 2 kids are going to grow up without their father. The fact that their father had vile political views that I disagree with, the fact that their father said I should be deported from the US is irrelevant. All right, you don't kill people for their speech, ever. And that young man gave a very eloquent statement there. The irony of him being killed after taking a question on gun violence and trying to make it about gangs. I mean, Amy, right now, everything in American politics just feels bizarre and ironic and unprecedented. If you sat in a Netflix TV writer's room and said, hey, this is a political drama about politics in the United States, and it was the script of the last 5 or 10 years, the TV writers would throw you out of the room and say, this is ridiculous. We can't make this TV show. This is so unrealistic. The plot twists, the turns. But that's our daily life right now. I mean, we're all going crazy seeing what happens on a daily basis. It's beyond anything we see on TV or in the movies these days. And I worry that everything's going to get worse. I was on the BBC just a couple nights back, and the question they asked was, is America going to come together after this? That's what other countries are wondering. That's what would happen in most normal countries after a tragedy like this. Unfortunately, the US is not a normal country right now. And I suspect not only are we not going to come together, we're going to go further apart, because the president is someone who takes this opportunity to incite more. I mean, everything Donald Trump has said since this murder has been unhelpful at best, dangerous and destructive at worst. He's not the right leader whenever there's a tragedy, whenever there is a murder or a terrorist attack. That's always been one of my great criticisms of Trump. I have many, but he's not the right person to lead a nation when there is a tragedy or a crisis.
Many, in 2023, Charlie Kirk called for you to be deported over your views on the COVID-19 pandemic while you were working at MSNBC. I just wanted to play a clip from the Charlie Kirk show.
So we need to reassert what the actual truth of the matter is, especially if we are to be prepared for the next pandemic when it inevitably comes.
Wow, who is that neurotic lunatic?
Who is that guy?
See, everybody kept telling me, oh, he's just a nice guy who wants to have honest debate. Fucking first thing he says, who's that neurotic lunatic? Seriously, and you guys come in here and criticize me. Get the fuck out of here.
Send him back to the country he came from. Holy cow. Get him off TV. Revoke his visa.
So that was Charlie Kirk. And again, the horror of his murder right now. Your response then, Mehdi, and as you reflect on this now.
Yeah, I responded at the time pointing out how racist that statement was. Charlie Kirk was very anti-immigrant. He was very anti-Muslim. People forget this stuff. But again, you know, I've spent the last 48 hours condemning his killing. I've found that posts celebrating his death, very few of them. I know the Republicans are trying to exaggerate. There are deaths. There are obviously posts online celebrating his death. I find them distasteful, inappropriate. It's not something I would do. And yet I think to myself, had I been the one shot in the neck and passing away, I wonder what Kirk would have said about me. This is the reality of where we live. I mean,
he would have had sympathy, that's for sure.
Some liberals are going to another extreme, which is we should all condemn the killing of Charlie Kirk, but we don't need to participate in the whitewashing of his record or the kind of this suggestion that he is some kind of free speech martyr. He was not a supporter of free speech. You just saw that clip. I said something on MSNBC he did not like, I, an American citizen. He said I should be deported from the United States. Is that someone who sounds like they support free speech? He was super anti-Muslim. Just a couple of days ago, he was posting about Islam being the sword with which the left slits the throat of America. He called Muslims conquerors, invaders. His rhetoric was horrific. He put targets on people's backs. But again, I don't measure my own views or my own responses to tragedies by the standards set by Charlie Kirk or Donald Trump or anyone else. The fact that he may have, had a more gleeful response to my death than I do to his is irrelevant. As I say, none of us should celebrate the death of a human being. None of us should celebrate political violence because it's a threat to all of us and to this country. And I think it's interesting that so many people are now trying to suggest that this guy, I've seen people saying, oh, he never did anything. He just went and had good faith debates with college students. Just not true. He supported the deportation of Mahmoud Khalil, a green card legal resident who was punished for his speech, nothing else, by the Trump administration. So look, even us having this conversation, Amy, will be clipped somewhere by a Republican and say, look, they're celebrating his death. They're criticizing him. No, criticizing someone's views is not celebrating the death. We can do two things at once. We can walk and chew gum. We can say it's absolutely outrageous that Charlie Kirk was murdered for his views, and we have absolute empathy for his wife and kids and friends and family. But we can also say those views were horrific. We're not going to suddenly say because he was murdered, his views are somehow good. No, bad people can be unjustly murdered. Bad people can be innocent when it comes to being killed, because even bad people shouldn't be killed for their views.
Thank you, Mehdi.
Thanks for watching Democracy Now! On YouTube.
Summed it up well. Now, I have not seen people. I would be the one to know if people were celebrating. I've not seen people celebrating his death, showing callous indifference, making lighthearted jokes of his death. Perhaps, yeah, I don't know about celebrating. So let's sickos cheer Charlie Kirk's death following a horrific assassination.
Influential conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
Let's see what they got
during a campus speaking event in Utah. President Trump announced Kirk's death in a post on Truth Social, writing,
"It's only a 2-minute video.
Legendary Charlie Kirk is dead.
They're taking up a hell of a long time with filler here.
Better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erika, and family. Charlie, we love you." While many social media users expressed their heartbreak and horror at Kirk's passing, thousands of sick users also flooded social media to celebrate the passing of the co-founder of Turning Point USA. Disturbing reactions ranged from mocking memes to outright cheering.
I laughed when I found out he got shot.
If you care. All right, let's move on.
One user shared a video of herself dancing with a caption that read, "Charlie Kirk was just shot in the neck. This is cause for celebration." Others have shared images showing party balloons and memes with phrases like "rest in piss." The popular X account, Libs of TikTok, posted a disturbing compilation of people openly mocking Kirk's death. The post called out the deranged leftists as pure evil. Kirk was a father.
You don't even know that they're leftists.
Millions of followers and billions of...
If I had to guess, the largest sample of people on TikTok that you are seeing are apolitical and are just content creators that are making shit for views, and they probably hated Charlie Kirk just because his shit got astroturfed into their feeds so much. Idiots.
Views for videos in which he would engage in fiery debates with students on college campuses.
Speech is not a left-wing value, and they do not believe in freedom of speech. They believe in totalitarian control. There are exceptions to that. So if they have a problem, I think this is one of the best ways, not the best way. I literally could not be more...
He said they believe in totalitarian control. You just saw him advocate for Mehdi Hasan to be deported.
Open to disagreement. I say if you disagree, you go to the front of the line.
And he says, if you disagree, you go to the front of the line. But if you make him look bad, you won't make the cut that goes up on social media. I assure you that. Let's go over to... We don't ever play James O'Brien on stream. Let's play some James O'Brien. LBC talk show host in Britain.
In America. Two things that we picked up on yesterday. I think one of these problems was solved. I began yesterday's program not really having a very clear idea of who Charlie Kirk was, or indeed what he stood for.
Most people don't have any idea of who he is.
With a much clearer idea, which it is not quite as straightforward a process as you might think. I got a few messages yesterday complaining that we were playing out clips of what the chap actually said, the self-styled free speech champion. And then I bumped into Ian Dale yesterday evening, and he said, you're getting a lot of flack on Twitter. And I said, well, what on earth have I done?
Everybody keeps telling me, the left is taking Charlie out of context by playing like whole clips of things he said. That one clip that I played, I got accused of taking it out of context. We played, 3.5 minutes? It was the full answer to a question he took. That was all the context. There was no way I could take it out of context.
Now. And he said, people think that you were wrong to play out clips of Charlie Kirk talking. I'm like, how can anybody be cross that you're playing out? I mean, what would he want in the aftermath of his appalling murder? Would he want his positions, his arguments, his messages to be more widely disseminated than ever before, or would he want people to essentially censor him?
Yes.
I don't know. I gave up trying to work out what passes for the logic in the minds of these kind of people a long time.
Seriously.
It's not true, is it? I'll never give up trying to work it out, but I gave up much hope that I would ever succeed. And the other bit that was missing from the analysis, from the entire story, was the definition of who they were. So Donald Trump moved immediately, as Donald Trump will always do, to turn this tragedy into whatever would be most to the benefit of Donald Trump. And so he elected to list attacks upon Republican politicians, refer to attacks upon Republican politicians, and completely ignore attacks upon Democrat politicians, many of which have been undertaken by people who were proven to be Donald Trump supporters or Donald Trump admirers, and talked about radical left rhetoric.
Every fucking time, too.
I've seen a lot of talk about they. I'll play you a clip in a moment of a Fox News commentator saying they're at war with us. And I genuinely don't know who they are. And obviously there's a frisson of concern, not necessarily fear, that it just means anybody who keeps telling the truth about these people and this movement. Anybody who, for example, considers it absolutely unconscionable that you could pardon insurrectionists who attack the Capitol and left the police officers traumatized, terrified, and even dead. You know, is that what he means? What is the radical left rhetoric? So there were two things missing from our conversation yesterday. And I answered one of those questions. I now know what he stood for. I don't remove, and I appreciate some people have been less empathetic than me, if you like. But I don't resile a single scintilla of sympathy and horror at what happened to the guy. I used the word courageous yesterday to describe my reaction to the discovery that he always debated people. I don't know that I will reuse that word today because I've had a look at some of the clips. I've had a look at...
There's a caveat, James.
Courageous it was. I've also seen quite a lot of clips of him losing, but the criticisms he received... But I'll tell you why I say that, because I don't think I'm courageous.
I will give him that. And James, actually saw some of the clips and, gave a critical evaluation. At face value, it seems like he'll just debate anybody. But no, that's not really it. The one thing I will give Charlie credit for is he would leave his L's up for everybody. Now, he might not make them into, smaller clips, but with the Oxford debate, that's on his channel. You can go watch it. Yeah, he monetized his L's because he knew all the leftists would go watch it. Get you coming and going, yep.
And what
it was a grift. Shelley, welcome in.
From a very different political position and not on the radio. So if I get the better of somebody, there'll be a long queue of people claiming that I've been condescending or I've bullied them or we can't really edit things to make me look better than I actually am because the whole flipping show is up on YouTube from beginning to end. But I don't want to be yin to his yang, and I'm obviously nowhere near as important on the political stage on either side of the Atlantic. But I don't know that it's courageous to say, prove me wrong. I just used the word to describe him in contrast to a lot of people who seem to have similar politics and will never stand up and be counted. So in relative terms, he had more courage than Hank Buncher-Numbers with a bald eagle avatar who spends...
Yeah, fuck you, Hank.
Disseminating negativity and bigotry on social media. And I didn't like what I discovered about him. And the more I discovered about him during yesterday's programme, the more troubled I was by the response, particularly of Boris Johnson, actually.
A Brit finding out about Charlie Kirk is great.
Common sense things. And then you read some of the things that he'd actually said, or you listened to some of the things that he'd actually said, and you wondered whether Boris Johnson, the nicest thing you could say about Boris Johnson was that he didn't know. He should have listened to yesterday's show, because he was responding. And that, of course, is when I realised why people would get so cross about anybody reading out what he'd said or playing out actual footage of him talking. Imagine that for a moment. Imagine casting yourself as a disciple of somebody you describe as a free speech champion, and then he tragically gets murdered by persons as yet unknown, which is an element of the conversation that we're moving towards. He tragically gets murdered, and all of the people who consider themselves to be disciples of a free speech champion have hissy fits and conniptions over the words that he spoke, over people playing the words that he spoke.
And they're getting people fired.
I'm often completely baffled by bigotry. But
multiple professors.
I got to tell you, that one's got me right in the...
I think there was like a firefighter in Tennessee.
So you don't want me to find out what he stood for, even as I condemn his murder? Why don't you want me to find out why don't you want people to know what he stood for? Surely that's a grave disservice to his memory. You think he'd be ashamed?
Oh, he wasn't ashamed.
He was recorded saying, you think he'd be ashamed of the positions he adopted? You think he'd be ashamed of the arguments that he made?
No, he wasn't. He was shameless.
Or are you ashamed of the fact that you agree with them?
You should be. Yeah, that's it.
As usual. I generally, when I'm completely baffled by people...
No, Charlie Kirk was so unashamed. He made his picture from South Park, Cartman mocking him on South Park, his avatar on social media. He loved it. He thought the episode was hilarious, and it was mocking the shit out of him. We all thought it was great. Charlie thought it was great too, because all Cartman was really doing was saying what Charlie believed. We all thought it was a great takedown, but in reality, he was really just repeating Charlie Kirk talking points. Charlie enjoyed it.
I realise it is what they see in the mirror that's being held up that they're repelled by, rather than the person actually holding up the mirror. That just becomes a wonderful exercise in projection. So I'm categorically not praising the man, but I am discovering with every passing hour the reality of his opinions. And that then takes us to the reaction. And I've seen actually one right-winger. I'm not familiar with him. I'm not that plugged into American politics. And I don't know whether he's ignorant of history or whether he's absolutely stupid. But I've seen one right-wing commentator this morning.
Probably both.
This is like the Reichstag fire in Nazi Germany. The Reichstag fire, if you don't know, involved the German parliament building being set on fire by one individual who was a Dutch communist. And Hitler used it to claim that this was all part of a massive conspiracy by all the communists, because 1930s Germany could have gone either way. It could have gone far left or far right.
Oh my God, is that what that dude was talking about? Like, oh, you don't know what this is, do you? It's a Reichstag moment. Holy fuck, he was, wasn't he?
And Hitler knew that. The biggest threat to him politically was probably from communists. And he therefore lied about it being a massive conspiracy.
History repeats
itself.
itself.
They had to round up all the communists, and once they started rounding up the communists and closing down democracy and co-opting the judiciary, you know what happened next. So I was a little surprised to see that point being made by somebody who would very much style themselves as on the same side of politics as Donald Trump or indeed Charlie Kirk. I didn't know Charlie Kirk was one of the people that lied about the 2020 election.
He was.
So again, you know...
Bust people to January 6th.
But pardoning people who've tried to overthrow democracy by using political violence is surely, under any analysis whatsoever, more of a catalyst for political violence than calling people names.
Yes.
And then I've also found myself in the last 24 hours reading people who used to claim that calling people names is just hurty words. Even Farage is in the Daily Mail today complaining about people being called names.
Yes.
And yet these are the guys who 10 minutes ago were telling us that our free speech was under that. I mean, I'm just really confused.
Me too, brother.
Until you start wondering whether it is, as always, all about the race. As is often the way, the transgender people being used as camouflage in the first instance to go all in on the racism. Allowing public discourse to be vile again in the context of transgender people. You're never going to get that genie back in the bottle, and all of the people whose bigotries extend far beyond one issue have been filling their boots ever since. I want you to listen to something. First of all, I want you to listen to this. This is a political commentator from the Republican Party. I think he used to work for George Bush. He definitely worked for one of the George Bushes. I just can't completely remember which one. This guy got sacked.
He's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions.
That is a guy called Matthew Dowd speaking on MSNBC. He got fired for those words shortly after.
Yes!
This is a guy called Jesse Waters speaking on Fox News in more or less the same window of time, and both in response to this horrible murder.
Trump gets hit in the ear. Charlie gets shot dead. They came after Kavanaugh with a rifle to his neighborhood. They went after Musk's cars. They just shot 2 Jews outside the embassy. Think about it. Scalise got shot, barely survived. It's happening. You got trans shooters. You got riots in LA. They are at war with us. Whether we want to accept it or not, they are at war with us. And what are we going to do about it? How much political violence are we going to tolerate? And that's the question we're just going to have to ask ourselves. Now, Charlie would want us to put as much pressure on these people as possible. Dana nailed it. This is unacceptable and has to stop. And it has to stop now. And everybody's accountable. And we're watching what they're saying on television and who's saying what. The politicians, and the media, and all of these rats out there. This can never happen again. It ends now. Greg's right again. This is a turning point, and we know which direction we're going.
He's still got a job. And
that was the first time I'd heard Dowd's comments.
Political violence, but who are they? Who is this homogenous group of people that are all responsible for the actions of those individuals? I mean, he did actually go further.
We're angry, and we're resolute, and we're going to avenge Charlie's death in the way Charlie would want it to be avenged.
Are you talking about avenging now? And how can you be opposed to political violence but supportive of a man who pardoned the January the 6th insurrectionists?
Yes!
You remember that footage. You saw it. You watched it. Donald Trump lost an election and his supporters...
You're right. It's a nebulous they
that
people can project onto it.
And paid for the blood of the actual vice president. I still don't know enough about Charlie Kirk to know how he would feel about the coverage of his murder. But, I mean, I'm certain that he wouldn't want...
At least got shot at a baseball game like 2016.
Hearing his words being repeated and disseminated. And I don't know. I mean, listen, if you're going to... You talk about all of the people that Waters guy just talked about, and it's right to do so, but you then have to talk about Melissa Hortman and her husband.
You would think.
Holmes killed by a Trump supporter. That's a matter of record. The man charged with the attempted assassination of Pennsylvania's Democratic Governor Josh Shapiro in April, a Trump supporter. 4 Democratic elected officials targeted in New Mexico in 2022. The man who tried to kidnap the Democratic House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and actually assaulted her husband Paul. That's something that Donald Trump Jr. made jokes about. Imagine if someone was making jokes, someone in public life, a really senior Democrat, was making jokes about Charlie Kirk's murder now. What do you think would happen to them? But Donald Trump's son made jokes about attempted kidnap and attack upon senior Democrats. Everybody who wanted to hang Mike Pence on January the 6th, 2021 was a Trump supporter. By definition, if you were there, you weren't just a Trump supporter, you were also spreading lies, buying lies, disseminating lies, or, to be generous, believing lies. And the list goes on. And the list should be married to the other list. They should all be on the same list. Gabby Giffords shot in the head, a Democrat. We speak about they, all of these Democrats. Is there some unidentified homogenous group, the radical left? Who are you talking about? People who support political violence. There are 2 types of people. People who support political violence and people who don't. Actually, there are 3 types of people. There are people who undertake political violence, and they are the worst. All right? Then there are the people who support political violence, and they are the second worst. And then there are the people who abhor and condemn political violence, and they are all of us. Why is that suddenly complicated in the context of this story? Why is it suddenly tribal? Why is it political or footballified? Here are the people who undertake political violence, up to and including whoever turns out to have shot Charlie Kirk and all of the people, for example, who attacked the Capitol in 2021. Here are the people who support political violence, whoever is doing it. And here are the people who don't. That's a scary division, right? That's a really scary division. Because you kind of end up being told, in this context, in this sort of crucible of very carefully cultivated hatred, that anybody who disagrees with you is responsible for the political violence enacted against the people who agree with you. Anybody who disagrees with you, it's a bit like what they tried to do with the Palestinian peace marches. If you're protesting, if you're demonstrating solidarity with innocent people being killed in Gaza, then you must support Hamas. If you disagree with Donald Trump, then you must support the people who tried to kill him. If you disagree with some of the racist conspiracy theories that Charlie Kirk adhered to, notably the Great Replacement theory, if you disagree with that, then you must somehow endorse his murder. I mean, is that what they're saying? Is that what it is? Is it actually a lot simpler than it originally looks? It's all about controlling the narrative, and the narrative is that everybody who disagrees with us, just as we saw with the Reichstag fire, everybody who disagrees with us deserves the violence that we are pretending to condemn and abhor.
Oh, I got one for you here. Political violence actually caused by, you're never going to guess what Fox News is saying now. New cause of political violence just dropped, guys.
It is a good point. I want to point something else out. You heard the family member say that this man became more political, this young man became more political in recent years. Well, what did he do in recent years? He went to college. That's where kids are getting radicalized. It's not just online. Our campuses are where a lot of radicalization, hate, and intolerance starts from. And so when he says it's an attack on all of us, I'm going to say this. No, it's an attack on conservatives. It's an attack on Christians.
Education is an attack on conservatives. Education is an attack on Christians. I agree with her. She can be my GOP mommy, too.
I want to point something else out. You heard the family member say that this man became more political, this young man became more political in recent years. Well, what did he do in recent years? He went to college. That's where kids are getting radicalized. It's not just online. Our campuses are where a lot of radicalization, hate, and intolerance starts from. And so when he says it's an attack on all of us, I'm going to say this. No, it's an attack on conservatives. It's an attack on Christians.
I have a special treat. There is literally a police chase going on right now. Just started about 10 minutes ago. So here's you, some mutts.
I am the owner of Mo Mountain Mutts, which is
Mo Mountain Mutts
training and pet sitting business in Southeast Alaska. I've got a bus. I pick up dogs and I take them for off-leash romps. In my vest, I have leashes. Some of the dogs are also wearing a leash on their harness. It's retractable in my pockets. I have a whistle. I got everybody's attention. Bear spray, treats, trait skin and coats, remotes because they are all e-collar trained to come to the vibration. If they get out of earshot, it's really windy. Also, they're kind of noisy and sometimes they can't hear you calling or the whistle blowing if they're down on the beach wrestling and barking. So it's a good way to interrupt the play and tell them to come back, check in, and get some beef liver. Got my walkie-talkie so I can talk to my husband. Got a spare leash. We're going to let them off in groups of 3 to 4 and they're going to go poop and I'm going to pick up. I'm loaded. All right, everybody has gone poop.
The car chase is only for people on Kick, though.
Beef with the birds, honey. Come on, let's go.
You get dog bust before we head out of here.
Our deck, and the birds will harass the cat, and I let Carl yell at the birds.
We're gonna say goodbye to YouTube people. Rumble, D-Live, Odyssey.
There's my husband Lee. He's carrying our son Bird.
BitChute.
Carl's digging a hole.
Digging a hole.
He's digging like a maniac.
I've actually had more people watching on YouTube tonight than Kick, which was odd. Not many commented though.
A lot of people ask about wildlife. We don't usually see.
We've had fun tonight, YouTube. Night YouTube people. Night podcast. Rumble. D-Live. We'll see you guys on Sunday.
So they're all trained. Drop it, leave it, recall, walking nice on a leash.